What's up, everybody? It's your girl Shantae back with another episode of Chatting with Shantae. How in the world are y'all doing? Me, I am doing pretty good, much better than the last video. Okay, your girl was going through it. I don't know. I'm not 100%, but a good 85-90%. So that's good, right? So as all y'all know, The Shy, episode 8, Love Jones. Listen, I absolutely loved this episode. Love Jones is a classic, okay? Classic 90s black film, just classic, all right? So I really appreciated this episode, y'all, like for real, for real. And if you've been noticing and paying attention and peeping, you know they've been paying homage to, you know, different black films throughout this entire season. You know, Candyman, Love Jones, Soul Food, you know. So I love the direction they went as far as the themes for the episode for this season. Really brilliant. And again, just classic black films getting honored and getting their flowers. I'm all here for it. So we about to get into this recap, this review. Listen, some people were not here for it all because, you know, it was a little bit too simpish. It was too many feelings going on. I'm just like, the title was Love Jones, all right? Like, what did y'all expect? So this episode was very emotional, okay? We had people rekindling relationships, or at least trying to. We had relationships coming to a final end. We got some type of resolve going on. So this episode was very, very needed, okay, for everybody's relationship problems, right? So if you haven't already watched the episode, I would advise you to go ahead and watch it before you watch the recap and the review, because your girl don't do spoiler free, and I don't want to hear that I spoiled it for nobody because I didn't. So let's get into it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when I drop a video, and let's get it. Let's go. Y'all know how I do it. We do it storyline by storyline, character by character, just so it can flow easy for me and you. Okay, so we're gonna start with Trig because, you know, he really wasn't in the episode too much. However, the times he was in the episode, he gave very sound advice. All right, so we see him and Jake. They were talking and whatnot, and he's getting on Jake about, you know, not really applying himself in school and not bringing in any income, but he's putting all his energy in customizing cars and all this other type of stuff. So Jake, you know, after Trig finishes ragging on him and stuff, he's asking Trig, how are you able to tell me to do all this type of stuff, but you're not doing the very things you're telling me to do? Okay, like you stole a car, you got into it with Rashad, you know, over Imani. Like, how are you telling me to do this and that, but you yourself aren't doing these things? So Trig is explaining to him, listen, dog, I'm glad you're following your heart as far as Gemma goes, but you didn't really have to step on your boy Kevin in the process. Thank you. I'm glad someone is saying it. I'm glad these thoughts are coming out, because it seemed like in the last couple episodes, it seemed like everybody, you know, Papa and Imani, Trig, you know, it just seemed like everybody was cool with this whole Jake and Gemma thing, as if no one knew that Kevin was with Gemma first. Like, they teaching him how to dance and, you know, how to rule Gemma and stuff like that, which is cool. But I mean, the circumstance of how they got together, are y'all not remembering this? So Jake and Trig come to some sort of agreement because they're both going through it with, you know, their close friends. So Trig is like, listen, if you talk to Kev and squash y'all's thing, I'll talk to Rashad and we'll resolve our thing. So they do that. Correct. So then we see Trig, he goes to Smokey's because, again, like I've been saying the past, you know, 5 episodes, Smokey's is the only open restaurant in that part of Chicago. I just know we have other places. You know what? I'm not about to rant on Smokey's. I've done it too many times. But he's talking to Emmett and whatnot, and Emmett's telling him, you know, what's going on with him and Tiff and things like that. So Emmett's telling him that, you know, the dudes that she's messing with, they got money and this and that. And she likes expensive stuff. She got expensive taste. And Trig's like, forget all of that, okay? That's your wife, all right? So don't just worry about the materialistic things, but spoil her with your heart. Trig, you a thug, but you're just so sweet. Listen, I love Trig, okay? And again, he wasn't in the episode that much, but the scenes he was in, he really gave the fellas some good advice, all right? So let's get to Emmett and Tiff. Listen, this was just too cute as far as, you know, his idea and stuff like that. However, it started off on some good old BS, all right? But anyway, so Love Jones is on and Emmett is at home. So he's texting, hey, our favorite movie is on. Now I'm thinking he's texting Tiff, but he was actually texting Keisha. So I was like, oh, okay. And again, this probably sparked a whole bunch of people's theories, or, you know, fueled their engine of Keisha and Emmett really need to get back together. And I get why people want that, but I just feel like right now, because do y'all really think, I mean, I don't know. Do y'all really think they should get back together? I mean, they're both going through a lot. All right. And now that Keisha and Tiffany are becoming close friends, or at least closer than they have ever been before, wouldn't it be weird? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, so they're watching Love Jones together. They're on the phone talking and things like that. And she's really appreciative for this moment because, you know, he knows that she don't be watching TV no more like that. And this is like a good relief and a good reminiscent moment with a good friend of hers, right? So they hang up, and then he texts Tiffany, you know, where you at and things like that. So he ends up calling her. This chick... Listen, I love Tiff, all right? She's beautiful, okay? Listen, the hairstyle she had, she served, okay? She did Nia Long very much so justice, right? But she made me mad, okay? Because you ain't finna be out with your boyfriend. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the politically correct term in open marriages is for your other person, your other partner. I don't know. But you out drunk with Dante, okay? And then your husband calls you, asking you where you at, you yelling, hollering, all on the phone. And then, so it's clear that you're drunk and that you're out. Okay, cool. But you're allowing Dante to really be taunting your husband like that. Listen, I don't care how cool, you know, your husband might seem or how aware he is of this. Yeah, he knows that you and him been messing around and stuff like that. But what you ain't finna do is allow your side dude, your other man, whoever he is, to be on the phone taunting your husband. Because, ooh, Corey Hardrick, ooh, I wanted to fight him, okay? I really did. That was so disrespectful. And she's like, oh, stop it. No, girl, you need to cuss him out, because that's still your husband. So Emmett's pissed off. He's telling her, you need to come home. She's like, I can't drive, I'm drunk. So he's telling her, get in the lift or I'll come and pick you up and stuff like that. She's like, I'll be home tomorrow morning. All right, and I bet you by the time you come back, the damn locks will be changed. I bet you that much. But anyway, ooh, Tiff made me, she knows she made me mad this episode. So then she's shocked that he hung up. You know, Emmett says, F y'all, and he hangs up as he should. And she's shocked that he hung up. And I'm just like, you're shocked? Was he supposed to FaceTime y'all? Hey, how y'all doing? Like, what did you expect? You better be glad all he said was F y'all. And then even Dante said, listen, if I was him, I would have hung up on you too. So your side dude, okay, who was a part of this, he acknowledges that he would have did the same thing. Anyway, so it's the next morning. Of course, she comes home. She's hungover. And Emmett, he's cooking this big old breakfast. Now, the breakfast looked good, all right? Listen, side note, I love breakfast, okay? I'm not a morning eater. I can't just wake up and eat. But, honey, breakfast foods, chef's kiss, correct? So he's cooking this big old breakfast and stuff like that. So she's like, what is going on? Baby, I would have been scared to eat that, because if you trying to kill me, you trying to poison me with some grits and bacon, I don't think so. But he's, you know, telling her, hey, how you doing? You know, I want you to get cleaned up and your food be ready for you. Listen, Tiff, these other dudes or Dante that you messing with, yeah, he might have money, yeah, he might be doing stuff in the bedroom or whatever the case is, but they don't know you like I know you. They don't love you the way that I do. They don't know how you like your grits or how you like your light-skinned coffee. And I'm just like, okay, listen, Emma was saying some stuff in the beginning when he's told Dante, when they were on the phone, when he's told Dante, boy, I will body slam you and take all your jewelry. I said, is that what we're doing? Is that supposed to be threatening? All right, Emmett, baby. So she's kind of looking around like, okay. Now, I'm not sure if she was looking like she was feeling bad for what she did, or she's just trying to figure out what was going on. I don't really know, but she goes upstairs to get cleaned up, and he, you know, finishes cooking and things like that, right? So she's doing her yoga later on that day or the next night or whatever, and he comes knocking on the door. So she's like, nigga, why you ain't use your key? So then he starts reenacting the scene from Love Jones, and it's really cute. He got his little leather jacket, this sweat. It's really, really cute. So she finally picks up on what he was doing, and you know, she really starts to get into it, and he formally asks her out on a date and things like that. So it's very, very cute. So then we see them, they're getting ready to leave for their day, and that's when we see Tiff with the different hairstyle. I said, that's correct. You better give me along her flowers. Listen, that hairstyle was iconic, all right? But she's like, where your motorcycle at? He's like, look, look, we only got so many hours, baby. So they go out, and it starts off really nice. I mean, he takes her to a comedy club, and she's like, I thought you were gonna take me bowling. He's like, you just got your nails done. Please sit here and relax. So the comedian comes out, and things start going Okay, but then he starts getting a little bit too personal. Okay, he spots Tiff and Emmett and starts, getting up in their business and things like that. How long y'all been married? I don't know why y'all bring y'all ladies to comedy clubs, because us comedians, all we thinking about is, how we can, have sex with your girl and things like that. The more she laughs at my jokes, the wetter she gets and things like that. So all the fellas looking like, what the hell are you talking about? So he starts going in on Emmett and things like that. And then he said the most, listen, the fellas was disrespecting the mess out of Emmett these first 20 minutes, all right? But the comedian's talking about some, oh, Tiff, you want to come backstage and things like that. I'm just like, baby, I would have left. We would have left, okay? We would have left. But anyway, so they finish up. And then they go dancing, little outside band situations going on. They're dancing, having a good time. Then he takes her to, not a bridge, but like, he takes her to the place where they first met and things like that. So she remembers, and then he gets down on one knee to, kind of propose. So she's like, boy, get up. We already married. He's like, yeah, I know, but I upgraded your ring. So it's a beautiful ring. And then he starts pouring his heart out. Now, say what you want about Emmett, and you can say how he was in the very beginning of the series. But from episode 1 of season 1 to episode 8 of season 4 is a completely different man. He has grown. He has matured. I love Emmett. He's so... he's actually trying, he's messed up in the past, he's owned up to it. And Tiff is like, I've heard all these things before, how you're gonna change, how you wanted to just be me and you and things like that, but then you go back and do the same thing, which I understand where Tiff is coming from, because when you go through the same cycle with someone and they're like, I promise to change, and then you're going through the same speech again, you kind of get tired, and it's kind of like beating a horse with a stick, a dead horse with a stick. So he's promising, like, listen, when I'm with these other girls, which, have we seen him with other girls besides that one girl? Anyway, but he's basically telling her, when he's not with her, she's all he can think about. And he really wants them to close back up their marriage, really work on them, being together as one and stuff like that. And she's just like, no, I like the arrangement that we have, at least this way I ain't got to worry about you cheating on me. And girl, at this point, you're just using this whole open marriage thing just so you can keep seeing Dante. I need you to just really own up to it. Please, you're trying to, I don't know if you're trying to downplay how you really feel about Dante, or trying to make it seem like it's not what it is. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's quite evident that she really has strong feelings for Dante. Maybe it didn't start off that way, but as she's, gotten to spend time with him and whatever the case is, you can tell she's really feeling him. And for a split second throughout this season, especially after learning of Jada's sickness, it did seem like the two were coming together, to work on their marriage and be there for one another. So it's like, okay, is Dante out the picture or what's going on? But no, she's still seeing him. I'm guessing she was just trying to be a shoulder for Emmett to lean on while his mother's going through this, which is commendable, but at the same time, But yeah, so after she tells him that she's like in their open marriage arrangement, he lets it be known flat out, listen, if you want to keep this arrangement like this, I don't think I can still be married to you. Bing, bing, bing. I said, I know that's right. Listen. And then she wants to look all shocked. Are you serious? Yes, baby. What are you expecting? The only person who is benefiting from this, I mean, Dante is too, but as far as our marriage goes, you're the only person benefiting from this. I'm miserable. I'm over here worried about my mother, okay? I don't know where my son is, okay? And I got this restaurant, this business that I'm working on. And my wife, who should be my rock, my person, is out living life and starting a new life with another dude. And it's just like, and it's evident that you have strong feelings for him. So, and I said this way at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure which episode it was, but in one of my reviews, excuse me, I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Emmett says that he doesn't want to do this anymore, because we can tell he's not into it. Like, that's how you know he has evolved, because the old Emmett, season 1 Emmett, oh, okay, what's good? Listen, season 1 Emmett wouldn't have been married in the first place. But if he was married, open marriage, hey, that's cool with me, boom, boom, boom. But when the dude who was known for cheating and being a player and things like that is not even excited about it or not even trying to do it, come on now, you have to recognize that. And he was even willing to, spice things up in the bedroom, role play. Y'all know they went to that sex party last episode. So he's like, I'm willing to try some things. I mean, whatever it is that you want to do. And she's just like, no. So we're going to see if they get a divorce or they separate or whatnot. Was he at his baby mama's house in the next episode? The one that he was catering the baby shower for, or the gender reveal for? Listen, that episode was hilarious. But yeah, so we're gonna see what goes on with them. I mean, if they were to get a divorce, Tiffany looked hurt, or she looked stunned or taken aback that he, you know, announced that. But I mean, at least at that point she could fully be with Dante. But then maybe if she actually is able to get with Dante fully without, you know, Emmett and stuff like that, would it be enticing anymore? I mean, would it be a thrill anymore? Or will it just become redundant, boring? We don't know, but we're gonna see. Okay, the kids. Listen, I ain't had time to write out all these names no more. I put the kids, all right? So we got Kev, Jake, Gemma, Papa, Maisha. We all love them, all right? And they grown people problems. So Kevin is in his room. It's raining. You know, they setting the vibe. And he is blowing Lene's phone up. Now, she didn't tell him the last episode that she doesn't really see him other than someone that he can, you know, play video games with and stuff like that. Just a friend, but you never know. So Keisha comes in there and she catches him on the phone. He tries to hurry up and, you know, play it off. And she tells him to quit being thirsty. And he's like, I'm not being thirsty, but you know, how come girls like it when guys act like they don't give a damn, you know, give a F? And she's like, I mean, sometimes to get out the friend zone, you have to fall back and not give a F. And he's like, that's y'all's problem, all right? And then he's asking her, you know, in a fight, or I don't know if it was in a fight or, you know, who looks the best. I don't know. She was like, if I wasn't your brother, who would you pick? Me or Jake? And she's like, well, I'm not answering that. That's nasty. And he's like, come on, for real, for real. And she's like, I can't answer it. And he's like, because you would pick Jake. Man, forget all y'all. I was like, poor Kevin, poor Kevin. And going back to last episode when he was hanging out with Lene at that video game dungeon lounge or whatever the case is, I realized why he dyed his hair blue is because I was watching another recap, so I'm not going to act like I came up with this, you know, theory. But someone pointed out that while he was at the little video game thing, Lene complimented the dude she was talking to on dyeing his hair. So he's trying to, you know, put some swag on and impress her. So that's why he was at home dyeing his hair. Because when I saw that, I was like, this is so random. Why is he dyeing his hair? Is this a rebellious thing? But he's trying to impress Lene. Very, very cute, right? So he bumps into Gemma. Oh, if you see me looking down, of course, I'm looking at my notes I wrote about. So he bumps into Gemma outside. She's leaving a coffee shop or whatever. And, you know, they talk for a little bit and they both admit that they still love each other. You know, he's a little bit surprised because she told him that, listen, I, you know, still love you. You're my first love. But even though you're my first love doesn't mean that you're my forever love. So he wants her to come to this party and things like that. This section might be a little out of order. I'm so very sorry. But it all flows together. But, you know, he wants her to come to this party with him. And she's like, I'm not going to a party with you. And he's like, okay, well, you ain't got to come with me, but just show up. So she's like, I'll think about it. Whatever. So then Papa goes over to Maisha's house and she's kind of a little down and out. Well, actually, he was talking to Jake first and, you know, they were talking about the comments that are being left under Maisha's posts and things like that. Y'all know our good sis is, you know, getting some attention, some following and things like that. So, of course, with love, there comes some hate. So Jake is offering advice like he's somebody. Sorry, I'm just still mad because but no, Jake is telling Papa to, you know, go check on her and see what's going on and be genuine with this. So I was like, okay. So then that's when he goes to Maisha's house and just to check on her, and she's like, don't call me queen. I don't feel like a queen right now. And he's like, well, sometimes I don't feel like a king, but hey, you know, with love and attention and stuff like that, there's going to be people who are just intimidated by you walking in your purpose, and you can't let that get to you. So he tells her that he misses her. Of course, we know that, and she misses him too, but she still wants to have space. So then where we at? Oh, and then we see Emmett. He's waiting for Kev and Papa at Smokey's because he needs relationship advice, and I'm just like, we could have went to anyone. Okay, we could have went to anyone, but okay, but Papa does have a good reputation for giving sound relationship advice, even though his relationship is a little bit in shambles. So Emmett and Kev were talking for a little bit, and Kev kind of spilled the beans on Papa's situation with Maisha. So Papa comes and he's like, man, why did you call me into work early? What's going on? Like, what do you want? So they like, why do you need advice from us? You the grown man who married, like, what can we offer you? So they all give each other advice and what they should do. And then Papa comes up with a plan to throw Maisha a party, but he needs Kev's help to, you know, execute executed. So then we see Kev, he goes over to Maisha's and she's just like, boy, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, why is y'all at my house? So, you know, he trying to play it off like he just wants to come and check on her and talk to her. And she's like, boy, we used to date. I know when you lying, okay? Papa sent you. Come on in. So they're talking and whatnot. And again, they're uplifting each other and stuff like that. And he's telling her the same thing that everyone's kind of telling her, you know, not to let the negativity and hate get you down and just F them people. And she is like, listen, when I wasn't like this, when I wasn't all big and famous or whatnot, you know, nobody had an issue. But now that, you know, the girl who used to be in the background is in the forefront, people act like they got an issue. I said, Maisha, wait, relax. I understand, but relax. So then, you know, Kev extends the invitation to the party. Of course, he doesn't tell her that the party's for her, obviously, but he invites her to the party and she's like, we'll see. So then we see Maisha, she's strolling up and she sees all these people lined up and she's like, what is going on? So then she sees her flyer or whatever the case Papa had. Oh, and then we saw Kev, and before the party, we saw Kev and Papa at the store. He bought a fog machine. I'm just like, Papa, Papa, baby. So at the party, you know, once they let everybody in and whatnot, Maisha's getting her groove on, all right? Well, at first, Maisha and Papa were dancing and talking, having a good time. And then Papa noticed Kev was looking down and out because Gemma hadn't shown up just yet. So he goes to talk to him. And by the time he reached the DJ booth, our good sis Maisha was bankhead bouncing with another dude. I said, well, all right. So Kev notices and he points it out to Papa. And at first, Papa wants to go in and confront them, and then Kevin's telling him to fall back, but then he's like, nah, forget that. So Papa goes up to them and he's like, hey, you got a problem? You dance with my lady, like what's going on with the disrespect? And Maisha's like, you ain't gotta go nowhere. She tells that to the little boy, and she tells Papa, listen, we're not together anymore, okay? You threw this party for me, right? You want me to have a good time, right? Let me enjoy myself. Thank you. You know, but your blocking ass. That's what she wanted to say. So she goes off and dances, and then he goes and sits next to Kevin and whatnot, and they're just like patting each other on the shoulder like it's okay. So then a few minutes go by and Gemma shows up. She comes in first, so Kevin's like, yeah, and then he sees Mr. Long Dreads come in, Jake, and he's like, all right, I see what kind of night this finna be. So he's like, instead of going up to her, I was like, Lord, Kevin, just leave this girl alone, please. Just please. I wanted to reach in the TV. Baby, stop. Okay, just leave her alone. You don't want her. So when he stood up, I was like, you better not go up to them folks. But he instead went and found another girl to dance with. Now, at first, of course, he was using her as a pawn to get Gemma jealous, and it was working. But then as the party went on, he was actually enjoying her company. They were dancing, and you didn't really notice Kevin looking over at Gemma as much as he was in the beginning. So he was actually enjoying her company. She was cute. Like, girl, y'all need to go ahead and talk. Forget Gemma. Let her and her afro and Mr. Dreads go over there. Go have fun with that cute little girl. So, you know, the whole time he's dancing with that girl, Gemma's giving the side eye like, you know, she barely paying Jake attention. She's like, so he calls her out on it. Why you keep looking over there? What's going on? Like, what's going on? So then he walks off, and then Papa, he starts to give Maisha a speech and, you know, saying how dope she is and things like that. He's really trying to prove himself, you know, and prove that he doesn't mind being in the background while she is in the forefront, because that's the reason why they're not together right now. She felt like, you know, when she was in his shadows or when he was the face and she was the background, there was no issue. But now that the roles kind of reversed and he's not getting the attention and clout that he wants, he's kind of projecting that onto her and making it a bigger issue than what it was. So he's really trying to do all this and push her out to everybody to prove that, you know, he doesn't mind sharing the spotlight, which, you know, it's not really so much sharing the spotlight with the person you love. Y'all are both in the spotlight because, listen, me and my husband, okay, if I win, if I have an accomplishment, he got an accomplishment, and vice versa. Like, that's how that goes, all right? Oh, and another thing someone pointed out that I didn't even think about, but this whole season, you know, ever since this whole Gemma and Kev situation, you know, Papa's been doing everything to for his podcast, okay, getting to spill all their business out on his show and stuff like that. And then he had the nerve to get mad at Kevin because Kevin told Emmett that he and Maisha were no longer together. So he's talking about something, don't put my business out on Front Street. Well, when we were recording your podcast, And we had thousands of listeners, okay? When you forced me to pour my heart out to Gemma on your Instagram live, you wasn't worried about business, all right? When you had us all together in your studio, your makeshift studio, okay? Putting all our business out there, oh, you wasn't worried about it. Now that I told one person off the record that you and Maisha ain't on good terms right now, all of a sudden you don't want business out there. Boy, if you don't get up out my face, oh, honey, pot calling kettle black, pot calling kettle back. Baby, I would have still been talking to Papa. How dare you talk about something? Don't put your business. Listen, some folks just stressed me out this episode. Can y'all tell? Listen, that's how I know we at the end of the season, okay? We got 2 more episodes. We at the thick of it, okay? Because some of these folks is stressing me. The nerve, the audacity of some of these folks, honey, I can't deal with it. So while Papa's giving his speech for Maisha and things like that, Jake goes up to Kevin. They're staying next to each other. So they make brief small talk. And then Kevin lays it out there. He's like, listen, when I told you to get a girlfriend, I didn't mean get mine, all right? And so Jake finally apologizes. I mean, did he ever apologize? It's like he was willing, like, I'm trying to remember. I don't think Jake never like apologized. I mean, when he and Gemma were talking after that whole blow up on Papa's podcast, he was willing to do it, but he didn't feel like it would make much of a difference, which, but he, apologized and things like that. And Kevin just let it be known, listen, even though she's not with me anymore, I don't want to see her hurt. I want her to be happy. And he genuinely loves and cares for her, and he just wants her to be happy, even if it is with Jake. And he's like, I don't want to see her get hurt, especially by you. So Jake promises that he won't hurt her, and they do their little dap, their boy shake. And I don't know, I mean, do y'all think their relationship is going to go back to how it was? Because again, like I said before, their friendship has been tested and rocky since episode 1, because Jake felt such a way with Kevin not really being there for him the way that he would have liked him to, with the whole police brutality thing, and then this whole Gemma thing, because they never rekindled or healed their friendship from the police brutality thing. So then this whole Gemma thing just blew everything up. So I'm not sure if their friendship will go back to like how it used to be, like how it used to be before, like pre-Gemma, pre-police. But at least now they might be able to be in the same room. They might, grab a bite to eat real quick, but I don't know if they're going to be hanging out at each other's houses or double dating. We don't know. Baby steps, baby steps. So then afterwards, as the party's dying down, which, did y'all notice they was shaking ass at the church? They was bumping and grinding, all right, at the church house. I mean, the cross was just lit up. I was like, we couldn't get a convention hall. I mean, that y'all used to be good for house parties, and everybody that moved into a bigger house. We could have asked somebody's parents to have a house party. They would have understood. Never mind. So while the party's dying down, Gemma goes up to Kev, and they talk, and they, move on. They realize, listen, we still got feelings for not feelings, but there's always going to be love there, but we just have to move on. So they make up, they move on. Kevin lets it be known, listen, if y'all break up, don't come crawling back to me, because I ain't going to be waiting for you. I said, and I thought he had walked off. I was like, you better drop the mic and walk off. But now he just sat down, and then she sat next to him. Whatever, child. But they cool. Okay, so everybody's cool, which is good. But at least now he has some sort of closure, and he can actually move on. So whether it be with Lene or another girl, whomever, yeah. Oh, Lord, y'all. We on this 9%. Okay, y'all remember what happened last time. We're gonna speed through this, all right? But we almost done. So last storyline, of course, we have Keisha and Christian. Who, listen, we just all have our fingers crossed that Christian is a good dude, because Keisha deserves a good dude, right? So they're both at work, and she's scanning stuff and putting stuff where they go, and he's just watching her like. So he goes up next to her. They start making small talk and things like that. She's talking about how she's not really getting much rest from the baby and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, I can tell. She's like, what you mean by that? He's like, I ain't mean like that. I just feel like you deserve a break, and to get away from real life, So they make small talk and flirt, or he's flirting, but she's liking it. And then later on, as she's still working, a girl is in there just keying. At first I thought it was a coworker. But a girl's in there, they're keying and laughing and doing all that type of stuff. And Keisha's just like, he ain't that funny. You know, she's watching him from behind the clothes rack, child. So the girl leaves and Keisha was on him like white on rice. So who was that? Y'all know each other. Y'all used to talk. Who was she to you? And Christian's like, okay, that's a homie from back in the day. I mean, we used to date as kids, but anything before 18 don't really mean nothing, you know? And she's like, I mean, I still got this dude from high school that's trying to mess with me, so, aka Emmett. And, you know, he's like, is he still trying to mess with you? I was like, well, why y'all worry? Why y'all worry? Y'all, what? Y'all been on half of a date. What y'all want? So, y'all be on 6%. Lord, why didn't I charge this thing? What's wrong with me? But we almost done. So, he wants to take her out and she's kind of hesitant as usual, but whatever. So later on, she's at home with the baby and she's scrolling through his social media looking at his pictures, and then she calls him. He picks up on the first ring. I said, I know that's right. And he's like, listen, I'm not one for playing games and acting like I don't give a damn. If I like you, you gonna know. Thank you. We is too grown. Okay, that whole nonchalant, acting like you too cool, acting like you don't care, that is the biggest turn off. I don't know if y'all think we think that's sexy or anything. Like a little tease here and there is cute, but when you get to, you know, trying to act like you don't care, that's when we lose interest, and then that's when we move on. Anyway, so he is like, may I take you out on an actual date? So she's like, yes. So he picks her up on the motorcycle. At first she's like, I'm not getting on that thing, but throughout this entire episode, he kept telling her to trust me. Now, I'm not sure if that should be like a red flag or if she's really just trying to reinforce trust. So, because he said something else at the store, he was like, I mean, I don't blame you. I wouldn't trust people either. Okay, well, Christian, I don't trust you then. Damn. But anyway, so they go out. You know, he takes her to the record store, which is ironically the one where his little ex-girlfriend works at. I'm just like, there was other stores that we could have went to. Anyway, so he has her listening to this song that reminds him of her, and it's really sweet and sultry and sexy. Then they go to this poetry thing, and she was, I guess, in the bathroom or something. So he was at the table texting, and he put his phone down, and she was like, who's that? I'm like, Keisha, baby, Keisha, listen to the poetry, sis. So he's like, that's my roommate. I'm like, okay. She's like, I trust you. So the lady, she's going, you know, in on her poem and things like that. And the things that she's talking about is really weighing heavy on Keisha's heart. So she runs out and she needs some fresh air. So he follows her, of course. And, you know, they give each other some space, and then he's asking permission to hug her. Now, y'all know the first time they went out, you know, when he reached for her hand, she was like, not today. And so, but she allows him to hold her, and then they go back to his place, and she's loosening up. Y'all, we on 2%. Is this gonna be a routine? I'm sorry, y'all. But anyway, let me go ahead and cut this light on. Let me go ahead and cut this light on. Dude, okay. Because when this ring light go off, honey, I might as well just turn it off. Anyway, sorry, y'all. So they go back to his place, and it's real cute, you know, and she's listening to music, they're dancing, she's looking through his stuff and whatnot, and then she starts taking pictures of him. We got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. The ring light went off, but that's all right. So she's, you know, taking pictures of him. At first, he's like, I don't like taking pictures, but he agrees to let her do it and whatnot. And they're having these moments where it looks like they about to kiss, but then they don't, and then whatever. So they have a good time. And then he takes her back home and they kiss. And I'm just like, listen, this episode was so cute. I mean, at least for them, a little part of Tiff and Emmett as far as, you know, him wanting to pursue her. It was really a good relief for the kids because they're actually getting closure on their situations. So this episode was very good. I really enjoyed it. And again, because Love Jones is such a classic and such a staple in the Black community, they did it justice. They really, really did. And next week, because first of all, for one, where was Nina and Dre? I just feel like after the big blow up they had, you would expect us to see them this episode. We didn't. It was like, were they at the house? Like, we didn't see them at all. So, okay, I guess it's one of those things that we should just assume that they're there, even though we ain't see them. But we gonna see what happens. I mean, is Dre gonna leave Nina? What's going on? And then Dude, I will be back next episode. There was quite a few people that we haven't seen in quite some time. You know, episode or 2 or 3. Where's my good sis? Tracy, Imani wasn't there. Dom, we don't know where my good sis is. Darnell, well, Darnell and Dom are together. Duh. You know, there's quite a few people that we haven't seen. Our good sis Octavia will be in the next episode, and I'm just trying to figure out, what do y'all want? Meaning Keisha and Octavia, what do y'all want now? I just feel like, I don't know if I should do a separate video because listen, this storyline has me stressed. Listen, if I was Octavia, listen, I'll just say this. I might do a whole separate video on this whole Keisha and Octavia thing and whatnot. But if I was Octavia, I would be done with Keisha. You done put me through too much emotional roller coaster, okay? First you tell me I can't get the baby. Then you say I'm the perfect person. Then the day after you want to get the baby back. Girl, and you know what she's gone through with her miscarriages. And then her husband said that they've gone through this adoption process before. It ain't working out. So you know my story, child. Why is you put me through all this? Listen, if Octavia go off the rocker and start shooting, I ain't gonna be surprised. I ain't gonna be surprised. I go crazy my doggone self. And then with Emmett and Tiff, you know, I mean, he made it known that, listen, if you're not willing to close up the marriage, then we just gonna have to go our separate ways. And it's like, will Tiffany be willing to do that? Is this something that would benefit her even more? Because then if they get divorced, she'll be able to fully be with Dante. Or if you're gonna see the grass isn't always greener on the other side, you know. Oh my goodness, Jade, I hope she's doing okay. I'm okay. Like, it's just so emotional. But y'all, it feels like this season just started, didn't it? And now we are down to the final 2 episodes. And I just feel like all shit is finna hit the fan. Like, this episode was a good, you know, breather. You know, nothing crazy happened. There wasn't any violence or fighting or killing, or it was just very mellow. It was a good breather, because I feel like these next 2 episodes, they finna end the season with the bang. And I'm not sure what kind of a bang. It's gonna be more than one bang or what's going on, but honey, we gonna see. But I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. I know I did. Again, there were some people who didn't really feel the lovey-dovey aspect of it, but again, it was called Love Jones. So and yeah, and do y'all think Christian's a good dude for Keisha? I mean, it would be really great for her to be with someone her age who understands what she's gone through, but is willing to be patient with her and genuinely likes her. But of course, people are looking at him like, what's really your intentions with our daughter? You know, like, what's really going on? You know, and there are some people. Let me not rant. You know what? Anyway, y'all, never mind. But y'all, let me know how y'all felt about this episode. What are y'all looking forward to in the next episode? And I will catch y'all in the next video. I love y'all. Bye.